Hello and welcome to the first Redline Podcast. This is the official podcast of the Redline Car Blog website. We're going to maybe see if it's a regular thing. You never know. See how you guys like this one. I'm Alex, and I'm joined by... Today we're going to be talking about starting off this podcast by breaking down last year in cars. Well, actually, maybe a bit of talk about the decade as well.
Yeah. We could do. We'll focus on the year that's been, I guess, then predictions for 2020, and then I guess we could look at the past decade as well.
Yeah. All right.
We'll do that.
So depends on. There's no real schedule for this, but we'll see how we go depending on time. It's a busy year for us. But if you guys like this, we'll happily do more. Make sure to check out the Redline Car Blog actual website. That's in the probably link in the description if you're watching on YouTube or somewhere on Spotify. Should we begin?
And go follow the Instagram page.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. And our Photoshop render page as well, at Redline Renders.
Oh yeah, true. So we'll chuck the link for that in the description as well.
Yes, make all the plugs you can. Shall we begin? So, start by talking about 2019. So it's a big year. A lot of interesting stuff came out. A lot of highly anticipated stuff.
I reckon it's been one of the biggest years in the past decade, honestly, in terms of new reveals, new tech, everything, in terms of what it's been, brought to the table in the car world.
If you look at 2019 compared to 2009, you have a lot more variety, a lot cooler stuff that you just... Yeah. So what were some of your favorites? Pick, I don't know, 3.
Alright, well,
I think I'm going to make a guess. I'm going to make a guess that one of them is the Porsche Taycan. No?
Actually, no, because I knew you were going to pick that.
Okay,
so,
alright, yeah.
I knew that wouldn't be covered. I reckon, in terms of the performance side of things, 100% the Toyota Supra.
I had that one as well.
Yeah, I figured we both have. You can't not have that. I mean, it's the rebirth of the classic that is the Supra, but in BMW kind of half Toyota, half BMW hybrid. It makes a really weird... It sounds like a weird combination, but it just works so well in my opinion.
Yeah, sorry, go on.
I mean, okay, it's expensive for a Toyota, but I mean, compared to an equivalent Z4, it's really good value. I don't even see why you'd need to buy the BMW.
It's the better driving car. It's arguably the better looking car.
Yeah, I was just going to say...
You get a 5-year warranty, you get Toyota servicing, you get none of the luxury German car foibles. You just get...
No, and I was actually just going to say, I'm still not sold on the look of the Z4. I still think it looks a bit funny at certain angles, but that's just personal, of course.
Yeah, I think a lot of people argue the same about the Supra.
Yeah.
But we're fans of it.
That's fair. They're both polarizing in their own right. I'll accept that.
It's
What about you?
The Supra it's the best of BMW with the best of Toyota.
100%.
But then again, it's on my favorites and my biggest disappointments list.
Oh, is it? Okay, I'd be keen to hear that. Yeah, that's interesting.
The styling is all Toyota, and they say they completely split up on development, but it's no coincidence that there is a Supra parked outside BMW's headquarters at the Nürburgring, the testing center.
Yeah,
there's no coincidence.
It's the same car.
They spent most of that 4-year development cycle testing together.
Yeah, I mean...
Same engine, same drive lane.
BMW, there's BMW badges everywhere. Steering wheel. Even the steering wheel is the same.
It sounds the same. It's just the same.
It's more BMW than Toyota, probably. I'd have to say.
But the flip side of that is that would you rather the infotainment and interior design from a 5-year-old 3 Series or a Toyota CHR?
Well, see, but the thing is, though, I wouldn't say the infotainment is from a 5-year-old 3 Series. I'd say it's a bit newer than that.
It's not iDrive. Okay, maybe it's iDrive 6.
I know it's not iDrive
7.
7, but in terms of the stuff like the digital instruments, that's a bit more advanced and sort of...
That's a Toyota
the stuff
design.
But sort of more advanced than the stuff on the earlier iDrive 6 variants, like the previous 3 Series and stuff like that. So I think it's it is still closer to the. It is closer to the more modern iDrive 7 than, in my opinion, than some of the early infotainment systems. But yeah, anyway, as you were saying, if you're comparing a CHI infotainment system and a 5-year-old 3 Series, I definitely prefer the BMW's infotainment system. It's just so much better. I mean, Toyota
100%.
do some pretty good things with their cars, but infotainment is not one of them, and that's just a fact.
Yeah. I do really like it, and I also don't like it. It's kind of a mix of both.
Yeah.
So,
kind of like Ford Sync.
what's...
Ford Sync 2. Anyway.
Yeah.
Next on the list.
Okay, yeah, what's next on your list, since we know it's not
Right,
the Taycan? Let me talk about that, and then we'll move on.
Yeah, we'll talk about that, and we'll move on to mine after.
Again, it's another love-hate relationship, because it's a great car, performance is great, but it's so expensive, and the range is abysmal. And that's that. I'll get onto that later, actually.
It also looks great, I might add as well.
It looks great, yes.
Really
it looks great.
I mean, yeah, it is ridiculously expensive, but I guess for what you're getting in terms of the performance and just the engineering that's gone into that car, I don't think it's hugely overpriced, but yeah, it is. It's a bit on the expensive side.
Well, it's like some ridiculous price, and I think it's 180 grand for Turbo S in the US, compared to about 100 for the Model S performance, which is obscene. But you get the quality and all that. I'd really like to see the e-tron GT when that comes out sometime this year.
Yeah,
because that should be closer to Model S money. Probably not there, but
well, nothing will ever be as cheap as the Tesla. But then again, the Tesla will never be as built well, as the German manufacturer. So I guess you got to compromise.
And I'll get onto something like this later. But what Tesla do so well is they've really got the drivetrain side down. They can build batteries more efficient than anyone else in the industry. Their motors
100%.
are efficient. Their batteries are huge. It's just they've got the drivetrain because they've had years of experience doing it.
Yes.
It's funny to say, but everyone else is new to the game.
Whereas they're not.
And they can do it.
Just new to building cars, so that they don't have.
Look, they're a tech company
yet.
building cars, and everyone else is a car company building tech, and that's clearly evident. And something that it takes when you look at BMW offering a subscription service for Apple CarPlay.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
That you have to pay money for, and there's that mindset, and then there's Tesla releasing software updates that make your car faster. It's a different thinking, and I hope
it trickles on to other brands. Yeah.
The whole point, people often forget this, but the point of Tesla is not to beat everyone else. It's to promote the onset of electric cars and make it.
Yeah, and I guess offer something new and different. Because in our world of cars, a lot of stuff can end up being kind of the same, but I guess to show that they can be different, but not in a way that's bad or in a way that's dislikable.
Yeah.
And also in a way that benefits the customer in terms of, their products being actually decently priced compared to the competition. So I'm keen to see what they offer in the future. But anyway, that's later on. We'll talk about that later on.
Yeah, what they said, the point of Tesla was to accelerate the advent of sustainable energy and obviously sustainable cars. That's the point. It's not to compete, really. Obviously, they're a company. This is still capitalism in the end, but that's not the point. Anyway, what's the next car on your list?
Alright, so favorite cars 2019 after the Supra, I would have to say probably purely just based on looks, mainly would have to be the Peugeot 508, but in particular the SW or the
not gonna lie.
Wagon.
Technically, it's not. It's a last year's car, but anyway, because it's revealed last year. Well, I'll let it slide. Yep.
Technically, yeah, but it just looks so good. It just shows what you don't need to spend, upwards of 90k on a German car to get something that looks. I mean, to be honest, it looks better than some of the German cars, in my opinion, anyway. But it brings that level of sophistication and premium feel into the mainstream market, which hasn't really been done before. But Peugeot's been really leading the way with that, because in a way, it looks and feels more premium than some of the stuff that Volkswagen puts out. Because I've actually had a look at one, and I gotta say, what they've done is pretty bloody good. Like the interior quality as well. It feels high end. It looks high end. So I just love it.
Yeah, it's a good car. It's still a bit polarizing, that interior. And locally, obviously, a base model would be nice, because it's a bit pricey for a Peugeot, but cheap for what you get.
Well, I reckon they could bump the engine outputs, and then it would be perfect. I reckon that's.
You got to remember that it is actually the most powerful. That's like the most powerful engine tune Peugeot currently have. If you forget about the 308 GTI, which is obviously not. Yeah, well, I don't think it actually can work with a PPF, petrol particulate filter, for those watching at home.
No.
And it's manual only, so that's off the table.
Yeah, I think I just sort of something like having the GT badge on the back of the 508, you kind of expect just a little bit more power. That's just my opinion, but it's still a decent engine.
Yeah, I'm super hyped for the Sport Engineered, which is coming this year. So I think Geneva, which is a plug-in hybrid, 300 real-world kilowatts, not the 375 that everyone reckons. Which should be really fun. Please bring it here in a wagon. That would be perfect.
Yes, please. Peugeot Australia, if you're listening.
Yeah. So what's your third car on the list?
Sticking with.
Is it a Mazda 3?
Mid-size. Is it? No, it is not.
3 Series?
No, I have gone with the Volvo S60/V60 because they're same.
Yep. Interesting.
Again, just to me, it is such a good-looking car, and when you compare it to something like an A4, for example, it's just so much more interesting to look at, and inside and out for that matter, not just the exterior, but the interior. That's beautiful as well, and they're significantly cheaper than the German cars, and I don't, I've had my fair share of experience with Volvos in terms of not owning them, but looking around them, and they don't feel any less premium or any less expensive than the big German cars, but priced way lower just simply because they've got a Volvo badge, not a BMW badge. It just seems silly.
And I kind of think that would actually be not bad move for Alpha to make in the future. Go slightly below the Germans, because let's face it, unless they can get their interior stuff together, then they've got no chance. The
interiors look beautiful, they're just not well built. Yeah.
I was in one recently. I wrote up a twin test for the site, and it was pretty similar. They felt pretty similar on the road. They rode pretty similarly. I mean, the BMW was a bit softer, but it was. Yeah, I was going to say. But NVH was just that bit better in the BMW, and the interior. Yeah. The Alpha felt like claustrophobic. Not just the all black, it's the design didn't feel very nice, and the dashboard and stuff didn't feel too good to sit in. And the controls, they just feel like a Fisher Price toy, where the BMW just has that tactility. It just feels better. It feels like a better screw together.
Yeah, I mean, I've sat in a 3 Series, but I haven't sat in a Julia before, so I can't comment on that. But yeah, no, the 3 Series has got a really nice interior. But I will say though, aside from that, with the Alpha, I do love the styling of the Alpha's interior. The visual presentation of the interior, I think, is really, really nice.
Oh yeah, so did I. I think it looks really nice. The paddle shifters, the column mounters.
I was just going to say how just like the metal paddle shifters and stuff like that just gives it that bit of extra flair that the Germans don't really have.
Yeah. Cool. Do you have any other cars unveiled, not that hit Australia, but cars unveiled this year that you particularly liked?
Well, so the thing is, basically, everything that I have, really drawn to is just been cars that have already been launched here.
Okay.
I mean, if we're gonna go, one car I have really drawn a liking to is the new Touareg. I think, while it is a bit clinical, I can see why people think that.
It's
I
just,
think it's a really nice car, and I mean,
just it does a really good job for what it is.
yeah, and the price difference between it and something like, say, like an X525D, they've just released, obviously, the new
Yeah.
base model. That's still really expensive. So I don't really, after this launch of the Touareg, I don't even really see why you would buy it. Really, I mean, the Touareg has a bigger boot. It's got, from what I've seen, it's about a similar interior space. And on, yes, it's a bit more clinical, but
It doesn't have everything. It has one key feature that buyers in that segment look for, and it's on the front, on the grille. It's the badge.
Yeah,
That's the problem.
Yeah, I know.
And that's holding back brands like, not Volkswagen, just with the Touareg, because obviously the Golf is not a A-class rival. Alfa, Volvo, Jaguar, all of them. You don't have
Volvo's
the cash.
starting to climb up, but yeah.
So they don't have the cachet for most. I think you've got a lot of buyers. They don't have the cachet as BMW or Mercedes-Benz.
No, but I mean, for someone like me, I don't really care about that. But I
yeah, and that's fine. That's perfect for you.
Yeah, other people will care about that, and that's just it's just life. But
yeah,
it's unfortunate.
I'm just gonna get through this a bit faster. My final favorite of the year is probably forgot it existed. I did as well. The Ferrari SF90 Stradale.
Oh, I did.
It's
I completely forgot until you mentioned it just then.
Yeah. It's probably the best looking Ferrari in about 15 years, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that.
I never really liked the 488, the F8, the 458, F430. None of those. None of the flagships.
No.
There's only two good looking Ferraris from this century, in my opinion. The SF90 and the 550 Maranello or something from the
yes.
start of the noughties.
I'd actually put the 550 at the top, but that's just because I got a sweet spot for it. That's just me. Anyway.
Yeah, it's just a good car. It's just got performance. It's as fast as a LaFerrari for much less relative, obviously.
Yes.
Just a good choice.
No,
let's move on. So, what's your least favorite car unveiled this year?
I don't think I'd have one particular car that is my least favorite, but I've got like a few that I haven't really liked. So I'll say
pick a couple and explain them really briefly.
Yeah, I'll say the Lexus UX, and that's personally just I hate the look of it. That's just personal taste. It's just me, but I really don't like the look of it. I just think they've gone way overboard with all the creases and their styling language, and I just think they've ruined it. But that's just me. Some people might love it, but I just don't at all.
I'm really warming to it, but it's still not a good looking car, no.
Yeah, I mean, the interior is alright. It's just too much in my opinion. It's just like they've just gone crazy and just added a crease everywhere they can find a space in the body panels. Anyway, it's just me.
Yeah.
And also, I'd have to say, I think sort of not as the overall range, but specific models of the Hyundai Venue. So the overall range, it's a good package, it's a good car, but I just that.
Yeah, I know where you're going with this. Yeah.
Yeah, the base model is just, oh my god, it's just so. Oh, it's so
too expensive and poorly spec'd. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, it's like Hyundai have gone back to their 90s roots. Was just, oh, I just can't. I just don't like it. And then also, I feel like having one engine across the entire range is a bit. It's not great, the top of the range model. It's not that cheap, but you've.
Yeah.
Little 1.2. It's just. It's not good enough.
You got to remember that. I haven't looked at this a while ago. They do actually offer in overseas markets. You can actually get, the 1.4. You get the 1 litre turbo and the 1.4 litre turbo that they actually sell in other cars.
If that was here, my opinion would be completely different. It's just the Australian spec.
It's just.
I just think it's not good enough.
For most buyers,
in this segment that it's trying to compete in.
For most buyers, it would be too expensive as it is.
Yeah.
There's no real need for it. We don't have crazy strict emission requirements.
No.
It's already certified in the accent, although in a slightly different tune with a slightly different valve setup. I'm pretty sure injection setup. Sorry, it's just easier. Just run through my picks super briefly. Mine were mainly revealed this year. Bugatti La Voiture Noire. It is a showing of complete excess. It's a waste of time. Looks pretty terrible. Why are there 5 exhausts when it has 16 cylinders? It makes no sense. Or 6 exhausts, sorry. When you have 16 cylinders, it doesn't even divide properly.
That's a fair point, actually.
And I just don't get it. It's a concept car that they showed on stage. It was like driving with like a little electric motor. It wasn't even had the engine in it.
Yeah.
No interior, nothing, and it's just a disappointment. Yeah. And then my other car is the Mazda MX-30.
Oh, I was thinking of putting that one down as well.
Which is, let me run it off super quickly. It looks weird. The interior is nice, but the range is awful. No matter how much marketing spin they try and throw at us, Mazda just keep trying to justify this 35 kilowatt hour battery, which for some reason Hyundai can get 38 kilowatt hours and extract another 100 kilometers of range out of it. Even like the Kona, which makes no sense. So
it doesn't make any sense.
And they just keep trying to explain it and how that it's only fractionally better than a Mazda 3. That over its life cycle, which is just dumb. I mean, it's probably true, but they're assuming like you replace the battery at 160,000 Ks, which I don't think you will. I don't think most buyers will. No.
No way.
Just a big disappointment. I'm actually just going to skip past the biggest surprise. We'll come back to that in a second. Biggest disappointments. EVs this year have been super disappointing on range.
Except for Tesla, but yeah.
Yeah, EVs that you can buy in the next 6 months are super disappointing on range. The MX-30, the Taycan, that's the 320 kilometers in the US, which is terrible. For $180,000. What else have we got? There's lots of really small.
There's been a lot.
Honda E, 200 kilometers of range.
I mean,
it's a city car, but still.
Yeah, I can kind of forgive it for that because it's not trying to be a car that you take on a long trip. It is purely just for you commute, 20 or so Ks to work every day, and that's it. Yeah. But yeah, it's still pretty crappy.
And then there's the Mercedes EQC, which is a flop, really. Come on, 350 Ks for 134,000 Aussie dollars.
I love the car. Otherwise, it's just got its range. It's. I love everything about it, but then its range it just lets it down.
Apparently, Mercedes sold 55 of them in Germany in December.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Which is pretty terrible compared to Tesla, who are regularly now with the Model 3 in the top 10 in Europe. So it's really disappointing.
I mean, bearing in mind, the EQC is, near 150 grand here, so it's not cheap.
It's not, no.
And I guess if I was going to be spending that much money, if I didn't necessarily have to buy an EV, I would just get a GLC 63. Just spend that little bit more. But anyway,
I'd personally just get a mid-spec I-Pace.
Okay, well, if we're picking, we wanted to go with
it's the same segment.
EVs, then yeah,
it's the same segment.
I-Pace. Yeah.
The iX3 looks kind of good, which looks decent. Looks a bit better, but they're all pretty. They're all pretty mad. It's all they say it's a $1 billion commitment to EVs, but it's just a half-assed attempt. I'm pretty disappointing. And my biggest surprise is the price of the Corvette, which is in the US. So what are yours?
Okay.
Top.
I'll start off with my biggest surprise. I'm probably going to say cars like the Mazda 3 and the Ford Focus have been, probably particularly the Mazda 3, for probably very obvious reasons. They're such good looking cars, but they just bring a level of sophistication into the set, particularly with the Mazda, that you've never really been able to get before unless you go into like a premium brand. And then the Focus, that's got a cracking engine in it. I don't know if you've had the chance to drive one, but that little 3-cylinder is actually a really, really good engine.
It is. It's good on
And
paper, and it seems good in the real world. Yeah.
yeah, and the gearbox combo works really well. So glad they got rid of that horrible
It's
power shift or whatever it
it's a
was.
little bit awkward. I've heard complaints
The
about
dial, yeah, it's
it. You know, not the dial, but like it doesn't shift into reverse sometimes. Like it gets a bit
oh.
rough around
I
the
haven't
edges,
had-
but it's still a very good combination. It's the best they could have
Yeah.
brought over.
I mean, I personally I haven't experienced that when I've been in it, but and it just feels so much more expensive than the old model. It's just so much better, and
Yeah.
it looks so much more expensive. But if I'm gonna go into my biggest disappointments, I'd have to say probably my biggest disappointment. I guess if we're coming back to, I guess you've kind of already picked up on picked up on this before, but I was gonna talk about the EVs, but we've already really done that. But like yes, there's been so many EVs this year, but out of that huge number, only like a small amount have actually been really good. They're just not. There's just not much consistency there yet. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, definitely. There's a good and bad to a lot of them. Like you have really
Some
cool
of them are
things
really
like
good,
the Volkswagen E-Up or something, or the Tesla Model Y, and we won't get into the Cybertruck.
No.
Cars like that, which are actually quite good and quite really well priced, and then you have the
Stuff like the EQC,
e-tron
yeah.
and the MX-30, which are just
Yeah.
real disappointments.
Yeah, and I mean, to be honest, is the Kona really worth $60,000? I don't think so.
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
No, I mean.
Yeah, when the Model 3 is about $8,000 more, it's not worth
Yeah,
it.
exactly. It's ridiculous, and I've probably only seen about 2 on the road in this entire year. So that Konas, that is, that just shows they're not selling well.
It's just not a good buy. The Ioniq is a much better deal, which is still not that cheap. And right, let's press on. So next we have.
Well,
I think you touched on this quite a bit actually, but top 3 launches in Australia in the last 12 months.
Well, what were your favourites? We'll start off with you.
Supra.
Yep.
Tesla Model 3, and the Porsche 911.
Oh, of course, Porsche. You've got a love affair with that car. For me, it would probably have to be the 3 Series, the Touareg, and probably the Mazda 3. All cars I've already mentioned, but for good reason. And I, as I've said, as I've explained, there's reasons why they're just such good cars.
Overpriced though.
Yeah, well, okay. The 3 Series.
When buyers see the starting price increase, they don't think, oh, they've cut the base variant and increased value across the range. They see, oh, this has just got more expensive for the same car.
Yeah. I mean, even the 320i, because they've released that not that long ago, that's still 70-something thousand. It's not cheap. So
65, I think, for the 320i, which is not bad for the class. But...
Yeah, well, sorry, I meant to say on roads about 70.
Yeah, okay.
71 or something. The Touareg, I think, is priced well, but that the price you've got to pay for the Innovisions package, I think, is pretty insane. Or
it's too
at
much.
least it should be standard on the higher end, the premium models. Sorry.
But yeah, I think that's definitely probably something they should do. It's just way too expensive.
It needs to be standard. But other than that, I think it's priced pretty competitively. And then the Mazda 3, I think it's priced very well for what you're getting.
Yeah.
Really. Although I would love to see that 2.5 turbo fitted into a Mazda 3 and they could come up with some sort of performance car.
Yeah, probably never.
Variant. I would love to see that.
It'll never happen though.
But, no,
unfortunately,
it will never happen. But
it's just they've done everything right except the price and the engines. It's just like the fact that you can even get that little 2-liter in the Mazda
the G20,
CX-30
that's the G20 silly.
Is
that engine's
really odd. I'm just kind of concerned about I like the Mazda 2. Like 20 grand for what is a
that's
$15,000 car. That's just
the Mazda 2 is ridiculously overpriced for the top of the range model. I don't see the value in it at all there.
fine. Like
But-
you yeah, go on.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say I personally don't think the Mazda 3 is that outlandishly priced, but I do think having the G20 being the standard engine is a little bit unfair. I think it really should have the 25 should be the standard engine, especially compared to everything else in the segment. It's not good enough, you know.
Like you can justify the price of the 3, but you can't justify the price of the 2. It's just absurd.
No.
But that's not what we're here to discuss. That's actually a car for this year.
Yes.
So speaking of things that frustrate us, what about your least favorites? You go first.
Probably the the same two that I mentioned earlier on. Probably the venue in specific areas. But the range overall, I'm okay with. It's just specific cars and probably the UX.
Yeah, I'll have to go with the two slightly odd choices I didn't really think about, but Genesis G80.
Yeah, fair.
You got to remember that there is fine. The G70 is a genuinely good car. It's a really good package, but
that was
the G80 is
was actually in one of my biggest surprises of the year. Was actually the G70. But yeah, sorry, go on.
It's a 6-year-old car that was actually launched here 6 years ago and then was taken off the market and it's back. It has a 3.8 litre naturally aspirated V6, which is just kind of pretty boring.
It's stupid, really.
It has a dated cabin compared to the G70. It's sharply priced, and every like private taxi driver this side of the airport is going to buy one. But something a bit more interesting would have been nice. Like
it is really just night and day between the G80 and the G70.
There's no USP. There's no reason to buy it.
No,
bring
not
the V8.
really.
Bring the V8 over. I know it's probably not going to get many sales, but like it's
but it would be better than what we have now.
Picture it as a and then get cops to buy it. I'm sure you could find plenty of police deals with that.
That would actually make a good cop car.
If they're buying 530Ds and Passat wagons, then they'll happily buy a Genesis G80 with reasonable servicing. But then again, one dealer is a bit of a disappointment.
In Queensland, we've got Stingers, and I've seen quite a few of them, and I don't see why a G80 wouldn't make any sense. Oh, sorry, G70.
Problem with Genesis is they've got that no haggle pricing, which is not how luxury car dealers work, and also one dealership.
Yeah,
if you wanted to go out today and buy a G80, you couldn't. You can't.
No, I can't. I'd have to fly down.
But then we register. Yeah, it's just a bit of an.
I know.
I get that they're getting there, but it's just kind of a disappointing. My second least favorite is the CHR Hybrid. I can tell you from experience that this is a painful vehicle. I had one as a rental car about a year ago.
I remember this, yes.
And it's awful.
Wasn't it something like 0 to 111 seconds or something?
Even better, 12.
Wow, great. Welcome to 1962.
Yeah, I hate this car. It is ugly, it's slow, it's efficient, but the infotainment is slow and pretty trash. The rear space is not very good. It's just it's a little bit.
I agree. It's a car for the masses, just to make money. That's it.
Guess what? There's another Toyota SUV coming. I cannot wait to be disappointed. So that's coming next year on the Yaris platform. So,
oh god,
wake me up when that one arrives. Don't actually. Anyway, so that's all for 2019. Something you want to add?
It's all dealt with. So now we'll move on to 2020 predictions. So, considering what a year it's been already, I'm quite keen to see what 2020 will bring. But what are your thoughts on future of Holden for next year?
That's an interesting point. So I thought about what's going to happen, right? It's going to be one of four things. Either A, their sales are going to keep going down, right? So either A, they're going to find some magic product that's going to turn their sales around. B, they're going to rebrand. which people think has been happening for 5 years, but they're going to rebrand to GM or, GMC or Chevy or something.
Probably
Or-
GM, yeah.
Or they're going to withdraw from the country completely. And it's probably going to happen next year or the year after.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm more inclined to think that latter. The last one there, because just with things going at the moment, I personally don't see a rebadging helping with how bad it's got, but, I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Holden are the Commodore company, and I think that's something they should really... Yeah, with that gone, the whole point is that they were a local manufacturer. At least Ford have the Ranger to rest on, and the Mustang, which is slowing, but still it's doing pretty well.
Still doing well.
It's far exceeding their initial expectations before launch.
And I mean, I've actually seen a lot of the new Focus around. They seem to be selling quite well as well. So they seem to be doing all right.
I personally disagree. I think I've seen not that many actually, but anyway, maybe different areas, I guess.
Last week saw 7 in one day.
And then none for like the next month, or I don't know. Anyway, maybe just your different areas. Yeah, I think they're gonna rebrand. I think a good idea would be to... What I'd really love them to do is launch here either a rebrand as Chevy or rebrand as some sort of... I don't know, some sort
I
of...
guess Chevy
maybe call themselves GM and then offer a GMC Acadia in the same showroom as a Chevy Corvette. And
I
the same,
was just going to say,
alongside,
I guess it would make sense.
Alongside like a Cadillac. Like, that'd be cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point.
It'd be super confusing for the customer. But
I guess it would make sense if they rebranded as Chevy, because you've already got the Camaro here. At least it would be consistent. And probably, as you said, that wouldn't.
They need a right hand. They need that right hand drive from the factory to do that, because that's all HSVs do.
Well, that would be the only issue. If they were to do that, that would have to be something.
Yeah,
I'd have to look into.
Yeah, I think just discontinuing the brand, bringing Cadillac over, and then selling the Corvette through HSV would be a wiser choice.
Yes, I agree. No, I agree with that one.
Though, as we know in the case of Infiniti, another brand that is thankfully leaving us next year, launching a luxury brand in this country is not a very profitable business idea.
No, I mean, I just don't think Infiniti ever sold lots to begin with. But anyway.
Yeah, they kind of they just gave up. I don't know. The last few years, the product have been pretty disappointing. Yeah, the Q50 and the Q60 are nice, but the QX70 is still a 10-year-old Patrol underneath, and they still actually. Sorry, the QX80. They still sell the QX70 here, which is like this 10-plus-year-old SUV, which I didn't realize.
It looks that old.
They've got, what was it, the Q30 that's based on an older A-Class? Like,
something like that, yeah.
And they've got that horrible steering, I think, the steer-by-wire in the Q50.
Fly-by-wire steering, doesn't work. It's just a gimmick. It doesn't... Yeah,
it's not the greatest...
benefit the car, anyway.
It's not the best of portfolios, but, I mean... Yeah, it's a shame at the same time. Thank God they're gone. Because I'm not a fan of their cars.
No, right, I never. Anyway, moving on.
So our consensus is I think we should say, I would predict that Holden are going to rebrand in the next.
Right. Yeah.
Chevy, you reckon they're going to withdraw?
Yeah, I don't know anymore. I mean. I just think with the way that sales are going, because they're continuously getting worse and worse. It just, whether or not they do rebrand or do what Infiniti do and just pull out, I'm not sure yet. So I'll get back to you on that one. I still got a bit of thinking
I'd love to see Opel, or actually Vauxhall. I'd love to see Vauxhall come back. I know it's the British only nameplate, but I think
actually.
I'd love to see them come back with all their PSA product, which is actually really good.
What I would love to see come back here after all these years, and I think would sell well, is Say It. They need to come back.
True.
They used to be here all those years ago, And now they're making great cars now. Honestly, I really, really like the current lineup in the Seat showroom, and I don't know why they haven't brought them here,
Yeah, I guess
because they would sell well.
the view
I don't see why
is
they
there
wouldn't.
room for another Volkswagen rebadge? Because you got to consider that Volkswagen in Europe is a giant and sells really well, and there's
Yeah.
room to have the
I
Volkswagen
guess.
at the top, Seat in the middle, or wherever they're going to position themselves now, and Skoda at the
Yeah.
bottom. But do we have that here? We're a smaller market. Volkswagen aren't a sales leader. I don't think
No,
that's
but
a
it's not like
feasible
they sell
option.
poorly. But yeah, no, I do. That is true. Or at least just like bring certain cars, like more of the performance orientated cars here, because as we all know, performance cars sell
Cupra?
ridiculously well in this country. So like, I mean, that could be an option, but just a thought. Only a...
Yeah, I think maybe bringing Cupra over, if they really expanded the range, could be a good choice.
Yeah, that would. Yeah, I actually reckon the Cupra Ateca would sell quite well here. I feel like that would be quite a... I mean, it's a Golf R on stilts. That's basically what every Australian seems to want.
Yeah,
So,
but the problem is, at the moment, is just now that the whole WLTP drama's over for the most part, it's
yeah.
the age-old question that our fuel quality is terrible and
is.
can't support PPFs. So will it happen? I mean, Peugeot did it. It's kind of...
I mean,
it can be
it's
done,
impossible. Yeah.
but
Whether or not they want to bother doing it, their problem. Anyway,
I don't know.
moving
I
on
hope,
to
because there are actually rumours that Volkswagen aren't going to bring after with the next GTI, which is coming in a few months. I cannot wait.
Sam.
That's going to come over with the old EA 888 engine, which is the same one as in the current Golf, with the whole same 180
that'd be good.
kilowatt
It's a good
370.
It's a good engine. I'd be happy with
Yeah,
that.
but if there's more power in the new one and a newer, more advanced unit, and if we don't get to have that, like now that our hot weather status is out of the way, if there's something else holding it back, it's a bit disappointing. But anyway.
Yeah, I mean, fair.
Yeah.
We'll just have to wait and see.
Next, let's touch on Tesla.
Okay.
This one is, I would say, easier to predict than a year ago. I think the brand's going to stay
100%.
around. There's no hope. I don't see him going broke. The
No.
Model
Not at
Y
all.
is doing pretty. Should be on sale by the end of the year. Not sure about the Roadster though.
Yeah. Probably not.
With
But
China, with
sales,
Gigafactory in
strong.
China up and running, I think Model Y by the end of the year globally is actually probably a fair bet.
Yeah,
and the company will
think
stay around, continue to grow, start making proper profits now. I think it's anyways up.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Anything to add?
I mean, the Model 3, I reckon that'll get up there in terms of leading the segment in sales.
I hope so.
Eventually.
If only they release sales data.
I mean, I've seen quite a few already. They seem to be selling really well. There's no reason why they should
they
continue to stay
do
that way.
seem to be. I just don't think they're gonna just finally release some sales data. That'd be really interesting to see. I would not be surprised if they're outselling 3 Series at the moment. I've seen an obscene amount so far on the roads in the last couple of months.
I wouldn't either. I mean, that pricing alone is enough to warrant you completely changing your mind over which car you're going to get and just go with the Tesla. Such a huge
Yeah,
price
read,
difference with all
make
that
sure-
performance that you get.
Viewer at home, read Car of the Year coming out in about a week or two, because it's a must read, seriously. Yeah, I managed to get a ride in Paul Marrick at Car Advice's Model 3 when I was down there. In the last year, and I have to say it's a really, really good car.
Yeah.
It's definitely,
for the price, you cannot complain.
Yeah, okay, the quality's here and there. We were taking some photos and we were poking fun at all the panel, looking at all the panel gaps and how big they were and measuring them. But it's silence. The tech is great. It's just nothing to complain about, really.
No, not really. I mean, I can forgive it for that poor interior quality because, as we've said, they are a relatively new company in terms of building cars, so you can't expect them to be at the same level as, say, a BMW. But when you're getting all that performance, it's not something. Personally, I wouldn't really care if there's like a slight panel gap here and there.
Yeah. Problem is that to compete, they need to be at that level.
True.
And they're improving.
Before, yeah, but as you're saying before, they're not. I guess their sole philosophy isn't to,
Yeah,
compete.
but then again,
anyway.
they do still build cars.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
now we're on the topic of electric cars, which I reckon that this year, I think we're due to see the new Volkswagen, the basically the crossover version of the ID3 in March. I think, I'm curious to see which brands expand this year in terms of their electric offerings.
I feel like Hyundai is going to continue to with the way that they're going, but we'll just have to wait and see. And I feel like, to me, it would make sense if Volvo offered a broader range of, like, say, the plug-in hybrids, because they already seem to be pretty keen on those cars, and they seem to be pretty good cars from what I've seen. So I don't see why there wouldn't be a reason for them to not expand their plug-in hybrid range, or even then, go on and release an entirely electric model.
Yeah, I saw this chart yesterday, which I did share with you. If you look at the EU target throughout 2021, there are brands like, Toyota and Volvo that are all in on hybrids and get it, right? I'm surprised actually JLR's not going to get penalties, oddly.
Yeah, that's true.
Sorry, but then you have brands like, so look here, sorry. Even Hyundai Kia is going to cop some penalties with these 2021 CO2 targets that are coming in next year. So I'm just curious to see where they go with that.
Yeah, well, Kia needs to start jumping on the bandwagon because they don't have anything. And with the way that things are going, as you were just mentioning, that they need to.
Hyundai have hybrids, but they've got the Kona, obviously the Ioniq, and that's it, I think.
Nissan have got the Leaf, but that's it.
There'll also be Kia Sorento hybrid this year. There'll be Tucson, I think, will get a hybrid.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the respective Sportage and later on the Santa Fe also get it. But
yeah,
it looks.
Considering there's only one engine available in the Santa Fe anyway, and it being a diesel, I don't see
V6.
Why
new V6?
So like a plug-in hybrid or something wouldn't make any sense. I don't know why that wouldn't be possible.
Yeah, and locally, I wouldn't expect to see much. I think companies like ChargeFox are going to expand, obviously, their charging networks, but I wouldn't.
Yes.
I really.
They're going to have to.
I really want to see incentives, but I don't think there's going to be any.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's that topic. Now, obviously, we know a lot of stuff is coming this year. We know we got
a lot of stuff I've confirmed. Yeah.
GTI, e-tron GT, 911 Turbo, all that kind of stuff.
All good
but
stuff.
what stuff that hasn't been confirmed do you want to see? So I put down some suggestions here. I really want to see. I really want to see something from Alpha. It's been pretty disappointing.
It has.
Once again, FCA releasing more like 5-year plans that are complete vaporware. Because since 2014, they're meant to have like an obscene amount of models by now, and they've in the last 5 years they've released what, like 4C Spider, Giulia, and Stelvio.
That's it.
Which is disappointing, and a concept. So I really want to see production Tonale. I'd love to see some sort of a proper midlife facelift for the
Giulietta. They need a new
Giulia and
Giulietta.
Stelvio. A new Giulietta. I'd love to see this actually the GTV, which apparently isn't off the plan now, but come on, Alpha.
It'd be great to see that back on the Alpha showrooms.
It's overall a bit of a disappointment from them. Just the Tonale would be nice. Geneva fees. Other things I wrote down. I'll go into your things in a second. That Chevy Bolt SUV, which is meant to be coming like 3 years ago. Still nothing. And the upcoming Hyundai N cars. So,
yes,
the i20...
I've got that written. I was just going to say that one, actually.
i20, the Tucson, Kona, which already been seen on the Nürburgring, so fingers crossed. Then there's also, what is that? Oh yeah, not that IMAX will ever happen. That would be fun. The one they showed off last year was pretty cool. The V6. So yeah, i20N with like the 1.6 turbo would be great. Tucson, Sonata N-Line. I put that 2.5 liter turbo into the Tucson, tune it up a bit, and that would be a really good car.
That would be. Chuck the exhaust from the i30N on it.
Oh yeah, it'll be fun. There should be an i30 facelift in the next year or two, I think. i30N facelift.
I mean, to be honest, I don't think it actually really needs it. I think it's quite a good looking car, but it'll be good to see a refresh.
There are reports that it could get the 2.5 liter from the Sonata N-Line, which would be very exciting.
That'd be good.
Great, actually. Yeah, Sonata, I mentioned the Sonata N-Line, the 8-speed dual clutch. Finally, been a couple years in the making. And what else there? I think there's Kona with the same 2-liter engine, and that is all. I think, unless there's something I've forgotten. I think it's what we're going to see in the next year or so.
Yeah. That's what I was going to mention that.
And the mid-engine sports car. If not this year, 2021.
Yeah. I was forgetting about that one, actually. You know,
So,
I was just going to actually say the same thing as you. Most looking forward to seeing what Hyundai come up with.
Anything else on your list that you got?
No. I'm just keen to see what Hyundai come out with in their end range.
Something I'm super excited for. I hope we finally see a new WRX this year. Please, it's
actually, yes. It's in desperate need of an update.
Yeah, I'd really like to see that. We're getting a new Lavorg at some point. And on the topic of fun Japanese cars, by the time you're watching this, listening to this, you may have already seen it, but as of filming, the GR Yaris comes out tomorrow, and I cannot wait. That'll be such a fun car.
Yeah, it will be. That'll be top list dream hot hatches right there. Yaris GR.
Yeah. I really kind of fall in love with that car. It looks real. It's not okay. I'd be lying if I said it looks good. It's kind of a bit awkward, but at the front. But
yeah, no, just the grill's just massive. It's way too big for the size of the car, but.
The powertrain is really, really exciting.
I'm so excited about all-wheel drive.
Yeah.
Rally car for the road. Yes, please.
It's a homologation special without being a homologation special.
Yeah.
Which is very cool. I would not be surprised if we see that engine or a turned-up version of that engine, or maybe like an extra cylinder tacked on in a Corolla, please.
I would actually love
People
to see
speculated that could go in a CHR. Which wouldn't be a bad buy as well.
I mean, I wouldn't like it still because it's a CHR, but
still, any
that would be cool.
Fun all-wheel drive performance car is a fun all-wheel drive performance car. So,
it's very true.
And it's not a hybrid. You got to take what you can get. I think that's all. Before we finish off this episode, if obviously we do one of these podcasts, we're gonna make a trend. We're gonna do car sales challenges. So, first time out, we're going to do the best performance car under 50 grand. Now we have.
We'll just explain how this works. Sorry, so basically we'll be given a challenge each episode if there's more to come, and say for example this week's is best performance car under 50k. So basically we just have to go find a car on car sales that meets the criteria that we like.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, what have you gone with for this week's challenge?
I initially went for a Mustang GT, an auto Mustang. One of the facelifted ones. But, then I remember that the auto overheats on the racetrack, so I
it's
went
an
for another
auto in a
Ford
Mustang.
product. Yeah. I went for another Ford product. A 2017 Focus RS manual.
Now you're talking.
It's only got 3,800 kilometers on the clock, this particular one. It was 48 grand before it was sold, about an hour before filming this. Yeah, the proper performance wheel. Look, it's a really good spec. Just the spec you want, bright blue. What does that complain about? It's a shame they don't make it anymore. The next one's probably going to be really disappointing.
Has it got the black wheels?
Yes, the black wheels, the black.
Thank God. Okay, good. Because the standard wheels, I don't
are
like
pretty
them at
awful.
all.
Yeah. So this should be probably going to be the last fun Focus RS, because the next one's going to be a plug-in hybrid.
It's a shame because
With
I mean,
there's no central. There's no. Fill me in here. Yes, there's no tunnel. There's no drive shaft tunnel through the
it'll always
current
be
Focus.
my favorite hot hatch. Always.
Yeah.
But that's just because I'm very biased towards Ford. But that's okay.
Do you own it? Do you own a Ford by any chance?
For 2 more days maybe, and then no. But yes.
Yeah. Well, enjoy that. It should be fun. You'll enjoy another 5 years of a boring car afterwards. Anyway, moving on.
3.
3. Yeah, whatever. It's fine.
Fun fact: actually, the repayments over 3 years were cheaper than over 4 because the guaranteed buyback value was higher. So we were originally going to go 4, but now we're going 3.
German car,
Anyway.
not surprised. So, yeah. What did you pick?
Now, this may seem a little bit predictable, but I just couldn't not pick it, really. For the performance you're getting, I've just gone with, and also, you get a brand new car within this budget. I've gone with the i30N.
Did you hack my
Specifically,
laptop or something?
No.
No, okay. No.
Specifically, now, I know you're going to disagree with this, but specifically a red one. Now, I know you love your light blue, but I actually reckon...
reading my pitchforks, yes?
I actually reckon the red looks... Should I say it? It's better. There, I said it. I don't know. I just love the red because it just... To me, it just contrasts so well with all the black bits on it, particularly the front splitter and the rear diffuser. I just think it looks great.
Yeah, it's okay to be wrong. I think the blue looks. I think the blue is best. The red's okay, but the blue's just better. It's just better.
And I will mention it's the hatch, not the fastback, because I actually think the hatch looks better. Again.
Yeah, I'd get red. Probably get red in the fastback and blue in the hatch. I think the hatch looks best in blue. The red accents just suit it, but hey, that's fine. Each to their own, right? But yeah.
Some of us are just right.
All right. So, yeah, I think that's all for this podcast.
Well, if you guys liked it, we'll be back again, hopefully in the
sometime soon. Not sure.
Whenever.
Yeah.
But just let us know what you think, and we'll take any feedback you have on board.
Probably like Geneva in a couple of months or something, or maybe sooner than that. I don't know. See how we go. Depends on how busy the car world is. Until then, thanks for listening. Again, check out the blog. Check out all these respective Instagram pages. Yeah, we'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening, guys.